welcome back to the horror show. I'm Marcia.
I'm Cecil.
And you got Jaime and Fuego. We are doing another patron request for our dude across the pond, Mikey Mnemonic. Yeah, man. That's right. Happy Hell Night, aka Frat Party, I believe. Yes, Frat Party.
Yes, that's it. That's what we watched.
We did, and it felt very like kind of Boston, like, you know, back east early 90s, like we got a slasher and we got the girls and stuff, you know, we're on like
the ones that had the heavy accent had it super heavy, but everyone else...
Some of the actors in
I didn't hear the accent at all.
I totally did, yeah, but...
it's just the one guy.
No,
actually,
the guy
the
who's
long
going around
hair.
with the cane?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, I was really distracted by the awfulness of this movie.
Yes.
So that
really?
could have...
This was on the same level as, like, Humanoids of the Deep
No.
for me, where it was so bad, I was actually kind of amused by some of its stupidness.
No, the acting was...
Even the young
Okay,
Sam...
let's get into it.
Even the young Sam
Overall
Rockwell...
thoughts. Overall thoughts. So my overall thought is the acting was not very well done. The special effects were not well done. The filming was not well done. And the story was ridiculous. So I was not a fan.
Well, there you go.
I'm usually all about movies that get it going, and this movie definitely did, but it did not give you anything of what was going on. Everything was just going, like, quickly and back and forth with time to show you what was going on. And the one thing I was super excited about was Sam Rockwell. Seeing him, like,
for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but I saw in the beginning, I was like, oh, cool, he's like gonna be in it, and he wasn't, and that was the only thing that was gonna be the saving grace of this movie.
I thought he was going to be the protagonist for a long time. I thought,
I thought so too, but no.
I never figured. Was he the dad? Who was he?
He was the dad.
Like,
younger time,
yeah.
Before.
See, exactly, like shit. Like it was just it jumped way too much in my opinion. It didn't really give any good solid background to what was going on. It just kind of threw you into it. So you kind of had to just figure out everything as it was going along. Though. It was fucking terrible.
It felt like a bunch of like back east bros, you know, fraternity, you know, whatever kind of crap.
Even
That's
though
the vibe
it's supposed to be
that
set in 1991, I'm sorry. Like,
this is it came out in 1992, and it did not feel
like
like
it was made in 91. It felt
like,
it felt early 90s to me, and it's like silliness and whatnot, and some of the dialogue.
I felt it was super 80s, like early 80s.
Well, it is coming off of that, so I guess. I don't know. I mean, my early 90s is like 80s. Final Destination, and that's what I compare, and Scream. I mean, that's 90s to me.
Yeah.
And yet that's late 90s, you know? So.
Well, maybe that's when it mattered.
No. Okay, so Jaime.
Overall thoughts, I didn't mind this movie. I didn't. Yeah, it's not great. It's probably nothing I would revisit, in all honesty, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was, like, the humor actually landed with me, maybe as a male, I don't know, but there was just so much stupid, chauvinistic crappiness from some of these guys that it amused me, and them all broing out and, hey, yo, go buy me a beer, you know, okay, let's go get a beer, and they're going, sitting in the bar,
hey,
and then,
you want to fuck? Yeah, sure. Okay.
Oh my god, that was amazing!
And then she ends up running out on him anyway. She's like, yeah, where's your helmet, soldier? Blah, 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 or whatever.
I hate to squirrel this, and I don't want to interrupt you, Jaime, but...
Squirrel!
So here it goes. So,
Spaceship.
I was watching this, and Pete was still asleep, and so I went in the room, and I'm all like, hey, what the fuck? And I just kept doing it over again. He's like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's like,
oh,
no,
he did the whole
I'm
scene for
scared.
him. He's like, that's awful. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was...
very endearing, yes.
The whole scene. Anyway, squirrel.
Yeah, but overall impressions, I didn't hate this. It's pretty bad, and there's no memorable kills or anything, and the characters are all like caricature stereotypes, whatever. But the type of stereotypes that they went for with them, I was amused by, especially the weird STV Geraldo as Marcia.
I thought it was Geraldo the whole time. I'm like...
Yeah, the pervo dude who had like cameras throughout the entire fraternity place for the party, so he could watch all of his fraternity brothers getting on the get down.
And he was recording them so he could sell them.
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna be a star, girl. Yeah.
Oh, she likes it.
Oh,
yeah.
She likes it.
Well, she did actually. God. She was like, ooh, camera.
Yeah. Anyway, for
the foreign exchange students,
Oh, the exchange student. You want to play something different?
And the guy never even showed up. That's so fucking sad.
But for the non-existent story, we can cover it fairly quickly in the fact that presumably to me, is a college back east where there is a fraternity that has a 25-year-old secret that they have been trying to hide, and the fact that there was a series of murders of fraternity guys and one girl. They specified the fact that there was only one woman who was killed and all the rest were frat boys, but as the film goes on, you find out, okay, this crazy priest that was locked up for the murders and has been dwelling in an insane asylum for the last 25 years, he's not quite right, and I guess we don't really want to spoil this, but you find out how this guy came to be a killer, and there's otherworldly means to it, and of course, 25 years later, he gets let loose on a hazing dare from the rest of the frat guys, where these two.
Well,
dudes,
no, just one.
Well, two of them go on that.
Well, the one it's brought up by the one guy, so that's why they're like, "This is your fault. Like you're the one who told us about it."
Yeah,
so.
But back in modern times, though, we do have There's so many weird subplots in this, from two brothers fighting over a girl to
people trying to get into the frat. It's just like I feel money from their parents. Like
I feel like there's so much thrown at you.
If so and so doesn't get into the frat this year, Dad's gonna take away my money.
Oh man, if I don't get in the frat, Dad's not gonna keep paying my tuition.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway.
Yeah,
it was a really weak storyline, but it did its job. Got us through it. Got us to the boobs. Got us to the arms being ripped off.
Another Patron
Or it wasn't
movie
even the arms.
that
Like
we
he kept
watched
cutting off the hands, and that was a thing. But I never really understood why that was a thing.
Yeah, and like story-wise, as far as the killer is written, he's got his silly one-liners throughout.
Yeah,
like,
no parking,
no TV, no STV or whatever.
Yeah,
no parking was my favorite. It's like, what? You can't even park anywhere?
Yeah, and yet there was the significance of the fact that he was dealing with the weird little like wood, the ice hammer kind of thing.
Oh, the ice thing.
Yeah.
That when the cop put it back up on the, you see him put it on the thing, and then the noise happened. It was like.
Did you know my daddy?
There's so bad. The audio. That's the one thing.
That was the other part of the story. Was like the only survivor was the father of two of the one guy that was already in the frat and his brother that were having the love triangle thing going on.
Right.
Who wanted to get into the fraternity, who had to do the hazing and all of that.
Oh yeah, and then the moment.
So their dad was part of it. And he knew the curse.
When
he's kind of
the brother had called his dad about it. Like, do you know about this murder 25 years ago? And then they're like,
was that not just a strange scene where
that
he
was
mentioned it,
so
and it went to all
weird.
the weird filters on the camera, and he's like
on the phone, like,
yeah.
Like,
I
just pictured like the kid on the other side, like,
are you okay, Dad?
Like, that was weird.
It was so strange.
He's like, I gotta go, and they go, no, that seemed legit, normal, no problem.
Yeah, right. Like
you wouldn't go
Christ.
like, oh, that's weird. I guess Dad has been lying to me because that's obviously somebody who's trying not to answer a simple question: did people die or not? You know, he didn't even deny it. He's like, I just gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so after going to check on this guy who was, the murderer 25 years ago, they go to take a photo of him. In turn, he escapes and he kills one of the two frat guys. The other one is the younger brother in said love triangle that we described. He gets back to the frat house, and in turn, so does this killer from 25 years, separated, and he starts putting the ice axe through people's heads, including through doors, like the Shining style, where the father is standing by the door, and he puts the hammer through it, and he's got the hammer through his back, and he's like, and falls down on the bed and everything. Yeah. There's really no memorable kills in this film, unfortunately.
I just have one.
Do you?
I have one of the, what's her name? The CSI.
Yeah.
She's in CSI.
Sarah.
Okay,
Sarah
as we
from
segue
CSI.
into effects and,
Yeah, from
kills.
CSI. The one kill that I thought was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe because I knew who she was, and I was like, yeah. But the demonic priest person, she gets in her car, she sees him in the rearview mirror, and she's trying to get away, and she can't, of course. And so he just takes the pick, and he just goes through, and it goes through the roof of the car, and then it goes through, and she's like,
that was alright.
Yeah, that
like
was
that.
A good kill.
Yeah, but that was the only one.
Yeah, there was a lot of that hammer going through throats and heads and coming out of other areas and stuff like that. I guess there's only so much you can do. But,
I think when we're going to talk about effects, it wasn't particularly a good effect, but I thought it was actually pretty cool because I don't recall actually seeing somebody doing this before. And but when you were at the a church, and you had the priest, and he's doing his priest stuff. And the Jesus on the cross.
Was that how it turned into a real person?
It turned into a real person.
And it was upside down too at one particular point.
Oh no, that's when
really
he put the
That shit was
squirrel.
When he the Jesus that was on the cross, that was obviously like
Jesus
a statue, comes to life, and I was like, oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, they did what they could do.
It was like a full body
effect.
suit too.
He was
I
up there squirming
I
and
could see the
everything,
line.
like,
But then
turning
again,
it on.
like,
latex,
Yeah.
But then when it fell down, there was not nearly as many pieces. Like, no,
it was like they took like a tiny statue and threw it
on
on
the
the
ground.
ground. Yeah, that was
Could,
supposed
like,
to
a
be
full-
like a full body.
yeah, like
Got that
Jesus,
full
you
body.
know, and
like it was like if Fuego was Jesus and someone threw him on the ground, but only broke off was like a ceramic clown was like all that was shattered. It was weird.
It was bad.
But
This
that made me
content.
giggle.
Yeah.
But before that, I thought that was a really cool concept of like making Jesus real and all
like
crazy.
I've never seen that.
But he
I
looked
thought
like
it
he
was
was in
cool.
like a white vinyl suit or something.
No, it was
Like,
latex. It was like a
latex.
full body
Yeah.
latex suit. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
it
could
was
see
weird.
I could see the
lines.
seams.
Yeah.
It was really bad makeup, but it was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
for
one
the
thing I
time,
got out
yeah.
of this movie that I thought was cool.
Decent ideas, poor execution, a little
Yeah.
too like,
I mean,
rudimentary.
you know, there wasn't a lot of movie.
run-of-the-mill.
There was not a lot of money. This is a movie that was another drive-in movie that was made so that people could make out while this
This
was
is like your direct to
This is your
video
makeout movie.
early 90s kind of thing, you know.
because
you
there's
would find
even
it at
all the
video
sex
store.
in it. Yeah, you hear all. It's like watching a porn without watching the porn.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
Cecil brought up, which was funny. As Geraldo dude has the entire house set up to videotape all of the shenanigans of his fellow frat buddies and stuff. He's like in
This
his
is
weird
subplot.
little control room, and I thought it was funny where the girl walks in and she's like, "What if I told your mother what you're doing with all the toys that she bought for you?" Blah blah blah. And yet throughout the whole conversation, you hear,
Yeah, and the guy's like, oh yeah, like
He's all like rubbing the screen with the titty.
yeah, he's like this. The fuck?
He's sad. and gross.
Too much, man.
So
Too
gross.
much. Music-wise, I will admit though, I liked some of the late 80s, early 90s punk soundtrack that they had for it. There was like,
Oh, you mean the same repetitive like sound that they had going that had no
all of the different party
progression?
scenes, all of the party scenes. No. There were some party scenes with actual like punk songs. And in fact, in the end credits, there's a song called Hell Night, which is by it's like Sponge something or whatever. I don't know. It's a punk band that I remember from the early 90s, and they did the theme song for it. Mikey, are you a fan of that particular band? I would be curious because he used to be an old like punk and goth and into that sort of stuff, which is where I'm kind of assuming
This movie came from.
he discovered this movie and why it's kind of in his rotation, and he would ask us to review it. So
Yeah.
shout out to the artist formerly known as Drum Trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Is there anything else we need to touch upon?
No, I mean
Acting?
No. Did we?
Acting was
I thought we
terrible.
did.
We did that
Did we?
initially. Yeah.
Oh,
we did that
I
right
I
after
just said it was
story.
bad.
I mean, yeah.
I just
yeah,
said
it's
it.
fucking terrible.
Well, very, very back east
That's
to some,
strong.
as we mentioned. I don't know. Both of the brothers were an amusing dynamic in all of their stuff. I didn't really find any of the female actresses, including the lead, who becomes kind of the pseudo final girl, too particularly compelling. I didn't honestly mind the weird stoic, almost borderline vampire-ness of the killer guy with his black
It was-
contacts and all
it
of
was
the
like
white
the-
makeup and stuff on him,
It
and
was like the guy from
his stupid little one-liners.
What We Do in Shadows.
Oh, it's
Peter.
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 But worse than Peter. Peter would be ashamed
Yeah.
of this guy,
We,
not of himself.
we interviewed Peter.
Yeah, I did.
Yes,
I
we
like
did.
Peter a lot.
But anyway,
The TV series
so
is great too. Anyway.
hot garbage.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
All right, guys. Well, it's up to you if you want to watch this movie or not. You can watch it on Netflix.
I want to say it's on Prime.
Prime.
Amazon Prime.
You can watch it on Prime.
Amazon Prime. It is called Happy Hell
yeah.
Night there, but this
It's-
film is also known as Frat Party in a couple different regions, I think, over on the European
I don't
and
know if this
Asian side.
review is going out this month or not, but it'd be a good Halloween movie to put on in the background during a party.
It does
You're
take
not
place
paying
during
attention
Halloween.
to
yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
Yeah, or if you want a movie to make out to, this is a good one, you know.
Making Out. Just listen to the Darkness song, Making Out. It's a lot better. It's a great song.
I don't know. I feel like it's a late night movie
Making
make out
That you
session.
don't pay attention
Because you don't
to.
pay attention to it. You just look up and you're like, boobs.
So it's Amazon Prime and chill. So there you go, guys. We're going to extend our thanks to all of you for tuning in if you are seeing this on the Patreon feed first and foremost, and if you're seeing it later on the YouTube channel. If you want to become a Patreon and tell us what to do, tell us what to review, and commentaries, boogie boxes, all kinds of badassness, make sure to jump to the link below so you can get all of the infos about that. But I guess until next time, myself and the ladies will say sayonara. So I've been Jaime and Fuego.
I'm Cecil Slaughter.
Marcia Parker.
And remember,
Stay scared.